I have a daughter called Hollie, who is 11 years old, and she was diagnosed with Niemann-Pick type C when she was age 2. It was a long journey to get the diagnosis. We saw lots of different consultants in lots of different hospitals. Hollie was 6 weeks old when she presented with any problems, and that was prolonged jaundice. And she had a very, very big belly, which we probably describe as a frog when she laid on her changing mat. It was picked up by a health visitor, who then transferred us to our local doctors, who then transferred us to our local hospital. And we had lots of doctors and consultants poking and prodding her, all talking around us. And at that stage, it was all quite alarming because we didn't know what was going wrong. And then we found out that there was liver function problems and we would have to go to King's College in London. And we spent about 6-7 months under that specialist unit being looked at and assessed. They didn't really know what was wrong with Hollie. They said she would never survive without a liver transplant. She did eventually recover and all her liver functions went back to normal. And we started to live a long and happy time with her through that year, just doing things that she enjoyed, meeting her milestones. But her spleen was really enlarged, and it took 2 years in total for us to get the diagnosis of Niemann-Pick type C. And that was a real devastating blow to our family, because being told that you had a child that had early onset liver disease but had recovered, to then being told all of a sudden you've got a child with a rare neurological life-limiting disease, and to go home and make memories was really, really tough and really, really difficult. So that was when we got involved really and found out that Niemann-Pick was going to be a huge part of our lives, and it changed it forever. NPC has impacted our lives in unimaginable ways. From the day that we got the diagnosis, our life changed completely. All our hopes and dreams for the future, everything we were going to do with Hollie, seeing her go to university, get married, all those dreams were just out the window. And life became more of a ticking time bomb. So it was, instead of waiting for her to hit these big milestones, it was sort of let's get to the next stage, let's get into next week, let's see what next week brings. And for the first few years of diagnosis, it's that fear factor. So every little thing she did, if she tripped up or she fell over or she slurred her words or she acted funny, well, this is it, this is Niemann-Pick, it's going to take over now and we're going to lose our daughter. So it's impacted hugely, but throughout the time we've got support from groups like Niemann-Pick UK and other families, and that's made us adapt, and we've become more understanding of the disease, less scared of it, feel a little bit more in control with it. And Hollie herself as a person has given us the strength to go on, because she's determined to live life to the full. She's determined to be a happy young little girl, and even if she does go to the hospital and get poked and prodded, that's not going to stop her enjoying life. And as long as she's doing that, then we're going to help her and make sure she achieves those dreams for as long as possible. So even though we're absolutely terrified and we don't know what tomorrow brings, and we don't like to look too far into the future, from an impact point of view, we're not going to let it control us until it really has to. Niemann-Pick UK has been an absolute lifeline for us. From the moment we got told that Hollie potentially had a storage disorder, I started searching the internet. When we were told it could potentially be Niemann-Pick, we found the Niemann-Pick UK website, I rang the helpline, and I spoke to a lady called Tony Matheson, who's become a lifelong friend now and a real support to us. And if I hadn't picked up the phone that day and spoken to her and had that reassurance that everything will be okay, I've got a daughter with the condition, she said, and we've got many other people who are, and we've got scientists and researchers working on this, and we'll get you to see the right person at the right time. I think the journey could have been very different at the start without that initial support from them, and from that day onwards, they were just completely there for us, from the nurse specialist to all the clinical support. They helped us work through the long wait for a diagnosis. When we had our third son, Lucas, they helped with all the prenatal testing and made sure that we got the results and we knew what the next steps were. And basically, if you're having a bad day, you can just fly off an email to them, or even send a text message or message them on Facebook, or anyone at Niemann-Pick UK is always there for you 24/7, and you don't feel scared to reach out to them. So for such a small charity, they're just a lifeline, and without them we wouldn't be where we are today. And I don't think Hollie would be flourishing as much as she is, because they give her the support and they make sure she gets the support locally from the schools and from all the hospitals locally. And it just makes a huge difference to our life, and yeah, we wouldn't be without them really now. I've been a trustee of Niemann-Pick UK for a number of years. Shortly after Hollie was diagnosed, we received amazing support from them. We decided to do our own fundraising and awareness to support the work of the charity. And having met people and looked a little bit deeper into what they do, I really, really wanted to get involved and be part of it and make a change and make a difference. So I joined the board of trustees. work, quite hard with a dedicated team of really, really lovely individuals. Although we're small, we're perfectly formed, and it's just a great working atmosphere. It's lovely to have that opportunity to link in with specialists and professionals, and it's a real coping mechanism for me to think that I'm part of such a wonderful, small but lovely charity that is doing so much and making such a real difference that we can see firsthand.